Steve, been a while since we've had a chat, so I guess first thing we did, how have the last few weeks been and what sort of things have you been up to?
Well, training, obviously a bit of rest at the end of that that period that we had. We didn't really want the Tranmere game off, but there was nothing we could do about that. So then you have to work around it and try and build in, there's been a little bit of rest. A couple of lads have had, treatment, some more in depth than others. So, yeah, there's been quite a bit of work that's gone on. Probably the rest, well, I'm hoping the rest would have done the lads, done them good, if you know what I mean. But I suppose we'll know that a little bit more after the weekend, whether the rest has done them any good or not.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that rest because you have really got now a run of games, haven't you, starting this Easter weekend?
Yeah, well, now it goes back to what it was before we had the break. So, like I said, we wouldn't have wanted that game off against Tranmere. That was just that just becomes a hindrance further on down the line, if you know what I mean. But it is what it is. They had the international call-ups. They have the right to do that. We would do the same. So no issues with them other than we would have liked that game on. But yeah, I mean, it has given us a little bit of a chance to regroup, to give the boys a little bit of time off, a little bit of a breather, back in, trained hard. And just we'll look forward to the rest of the season now. And
I see as well, it's given you time to get Mo Fowler in the building from Wrexham, bumped into him a little earlier.
Yeah.
How's he settled in? What's he doing with you now?
He's settled in brilliant. He's a great lad, which is what I thought in the first place. So that's always nice when they reaffirm what you've thought of them before you get to meet them. He's settled in with the lads great. You can tell already he's part of the banter, flying around. So he's had some good fun with them. He's trained hard with them. He's trained well, trained for a couple of weeks now, and is available for this Easter period. We've obviously got to look into it and whether we start him or whether we don't start him. But that, I suppose that'll be all revealed when the team sheets go in.
But match fitness, you think it's there? He's ready. He is ready to go if you need him.
Well, he can't be ready match fitness,
yeah,
but he can be up to a certain level. But we all know what it's like. It's very difficult sometimes when you go on as a sub. Everybody thinks the subs can make an impact, and sometimes when you go on, if the game's a bit hurry-scurry, you can't catch your second breath. So sometimes it ends up being difficult when you go on as a sub. But we'll wait and see. He's just integrated with the lads, but the lads are in great form. They really are. They're in fine fettle. They get on so well with each other. It's probably now been, I would say, the best it's been since I've been here. So that is really, really important going forward.
So your Easter weekend starts with Chesterfield. It's before you were in the building. It's before most people were in the building. It feels like a season ago, the first home game of the season.
Yeah.
It's so long ago. Did you just approach it completely as almost like a fresh challenge, this one then?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I didn't have that challenge, if you know what I mean. So it's always a fresh challenge if I haven't come up against that team before. So I know Paul Cook, I know him very well. I get on great with Cookie. We have a great relationship. Looking forward to seeing him tomorrow, and his staff. Get on great with his staff. All good guys, proper football guys. Done very well with Chesterfield. He's had a good career to date. Paul, he has the same lads around him. Gary's around him. Kieran's around him. They're all really, really good guys. So looking forward to seeing them, and have done a brilliant job at Chesterfield. From the minute they've gone in the door, done a brilliant job.
Yeah, I mean, he's like you, isn't he? He's been there, he's gone away, and he's come back and hoping to replicate.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, I would have played against his team, I think, first time round as well. But I want to say I was at Bristol City then, when we come up against each other. I might be wrong with that, but that's
7 years ago he left first time, so 9 years ago, so yeah.
It could be around about the same time then.
Yeah.
It could be around about the same time. So yeah, I remember that. Good club, done a great job there. Like I said, can't say enough good things about Cookie. I really, really like him. Proper football bloke. That's what I like. I sit down with him, we have a cup of tea and chat football. And I like that. I like people who love their football and and he's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, they finished 7th last year, they're 9th at the moment.
Yeah.
And this is obviously where it comes crunch time for so many teams at this time. You've got actually 2 sides in this Easter weekend who are both looking for promotion, haven't you?
Yeah, that's handy.
Yeah.
We've had so many difficult games since I've come here, and these games are not going to be any different. So we're okay. We just embrace it. And if you want to be higher up the table and you want to do better, they're the teams that you've got to pit your wits against. So we've played very, very well of late, and certainly in our last 2 games, the 5-2 at Notts County was never a 5-2 in a million years. But we drew 1-1 then a few days earlier with Crewe, and that was never a 1-1 either. So I make it that we're probably down a little bit on points. So let's see if we can get those points over the next few games to catch up for those that we haven't got in our last 2.
And that Good Friday crowd for them as a side trying to get promotion, obviously it's going to be quite an environment there for your players.
Yeah.
Something you can, I guess, try and flip back the other way and turn that into a positive for you to go out there and challenge them. Yeah.
Well, we'd done that for large parts of the game against Notts, and there was a bigger crowd there than probably will be there on Saturday. So, look, it is what it is. The crowd, I suppose, what they can do is they can potentially influence the referee a little bit. But if we look at the early parts of the game when there's 10 or 11,000 in at Notts the other week, if we play like we can play, we influence the referee's decisions, and therefore we'll influence the crowd. If we do a couple of silly things, silly moments, like we did in the second half against Notts County, then we'll influence the referee, and then we'll influence the crowd. So it's got to start with us, and we've got to play well, and we know that by going there anyway, we've got to play well. But if we play well, we know we'll be a match for anyone.
And I've got to ask you, one of the big stories of the week, one of your former clubs, Roy Hodgson, back in a dugout this weekend. I mean, how does that, 78 years of age, can you imagine yourself at 78 in a dugout?
I don't know. I've ended up going on a little bit longer than maybe you ever think when you're going to start anyway. So I don't know how that goes. That's always health dependent, isn't it? But Roy loves his football, and it's great to see him back involved and back at Bristol City, albeit for I think I seen something on the news and I caught it just late where he was maybe only till the end of the season. So, look, if you want a steady pair of hands, there is one there. I felt a little bit sorry for the outgoing manager, because I thought he had done a good job there, and I thought he'd done a good job at other clubs before he'd gone into Bristol City. And I thought when he went into Bristol City, I thought it was a really, really good appointment. So I don't tend to know the ins and outs of what goes on at Bristol City all the time. So I hear little bits from time to time, and I don't go fishing for it. But yeah, I mean, I hope Roy does a good job at Bristol City, like I do when every manager goes in there.
Just goes to show experience still counts, doesn't it? No matter what.
Well, you haven't got to play anymore, have you? No. You haven't got to play. You haven't got to run around. What you've got to do is try and find your energy through the week to coach. So if you've got the energy to coach throughout the week, that's why. And Roy will still coach. He will coach, and he is one of those coach type managers. I know that Roy. I know people who've worked under him and worked with him. And I've met him a couple of times, and I do think he will go out on the field and coach, and I think he'll send the players out there well coached. It's what you have to do. You have to try and find a strategy for you to win a game. You have to coach your players with it. They have to understand it. They have to believe in it. Because at any moment through that game, if the players believe in the strategy that you give them and the bus is going slow up the hill, they help you push it up there.
Very best luck this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.